My name is Aoife Granville. I'm from Dingle, and I'm going to play a set of 2 slides that are on my new CD. The first one is called Jackie Daly's slide, and the second one is, I think it's called Coming Through the Rye. It would have been very popular with Padraig O'Keefe and those fiddle players around Sliabh.
And what's the name of the new CD, Aoife?
Solving So.
So, cos really shin.
It means kind of loosely content or at ease, so, which I'm not at the moment.
Whatever about yourself, Aoife, we're all are having ho and shop, okay? will you tell us? You wouldn't associate flute with Dingle. How did that happen, or how did you come about playing flute?
Well, I started off in the fife and drum band. There's a big tradition of fifing, so even though there weren't any flute players, there's great fifers around the town. But I just always kind of wanted to graduate to the flute. I know I'd heard Matt Malloy and seen him play on the Pure Drop and those sort of things, and I learned a bit of classical flute because I was a teacher when I was 15. Then I graduated onto the wooden flute, I suppose, and started going to Milltown Malbay and that sort of thing for the weeks. And but I went, when I did my music degree in UCC, I took classes with Conal O'Grada.
Oh, lovely.
So I was completely in heaven when I met Conal and had flute classes every week with Conal, so that was a big help.
Beautiful, okay. What kind of flute do you play now?
This is a Michael Grinter, but I also have an Eamon Cotter that I play in E-flat.
In E-flat, all right, okay. And tell us the history of fife playing in Dingle. It sounds very unpatriotic. You'd usually associate it with the orange tradition in the north.
Well, I suppose it was always going back to the end of the 1800s and that. They would have been all over the country. Despite, I know we associate it more with the north and loyalist bands and stuff now, but there were as many nationalist or Republican bands and everything through from the end of the 1800s into the 1900s. But I suppose a lot of even the temperance movements and stuff at fife and drum bands, and up around Connacht there was loads as well. But in Dingle it kind of just seemed to stay, and it's become really very much a part of community life, like the marches. There's a couple of marches. We do an early morning on Paddy's Day at 6 a.m. and
right, lovely.
Sunday, and we march for May and
Londrolene. Yeah.
Londrolene is really big as well. So it's kind of the music that the town needs.
Oh, sure, I see.
I love is the sound of the fife and drum, I think.
And you're a pure townie, you're not?
Well, my dad is from Fiohannock.
Lovely.
In west, but I suppose I'm a townie. Depends on who you talk to. Some people say I'm from back west. If you talk to people say I'm from Toonagh.
Oh,
we
lovely.
had both, I suppose, but I consider myself a townie.
I see. Oh, right. Okay. And did you have an album out with Deirdre? Or-
I had another CD out here a good few years ago.
With your
My sister's
sister?
on it as well, yeah.
And what was that called? Or?
Shraudone Shuffle.
All right, Shraudone in Dingle as well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a great musician here, a teacher, Tom Lynch. I'm sure you know him. Tom told me a story about that fife band that had a lot to do with the parish priest. They wanted to control debauchery down there, and music was associated with debauchery, so all the instruments were taken off them, and the only thing they could conceal was a little fife.
Well, yeah, there was a story about when Parnell and Kitty O'Shea visited Dingle. You know, that was a liaison that wasn't looked upon well. She was married, was it?
She was, yeah.
And the brass and reed band at the time were part of the temperance movement, but they went and played when Parnell and Kitty O'Shea came, and the parish priest locked the instruments in the temperance hall.
Oh,
and there was a verse about it. The brass and reed came out to play a tune for Parnell and Kitty O'Shea, but Father Dan ran across the way and locked the door on poor Andy and Tay, and Andy and Tay was the drummer, I think.
Oh, I see.
Time. But allegedly that time they locked all the brass and reed instruments and stuff, which would have been, you know, at the end of the 1800s or whatever, I think.
Crikey.
So the fifes, yeah, well, that's one way. I suppose maybe they were
they
were concealed, they would fit in the pockets, the inner.
Yeah, sure, concealment and all that. Yeah, Dingle is a beautiful place. It just has this kind of a rich. There seems to be a lovely rich tapestry of everything down there.
I suppose,
you know, from the environment. It must be a great environment to grow up playing music in.
And we were lucky because we grew up in town, but my grandmother was from Communole there and on Slayhead, and we would have had a lot of Irish on that side, and a lot of the singing and stuff we would have been listening to us then, and then we had the fifing and stuff going on from town. So from a musical perspective, we had kind of two of the traditions really all the time happening in the house. So and the language. So yeah, it was a great place to grow up.
God, it was heaven.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Gunari Gagala the Quid Keola Shamach.
Gurmagat.